From Los Angeles, California, we have MC and producer Zapata the Ghost. He's a dope MC, incredible producer. He just released a new album entitled My Pen, God's Ink. We're going to bring him in and talk to him about his new album and his incredible career. Let's bring him in. Peace, my brother. What an honor to have you on.
Thank you. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me clear?
Yeah, because I'm running it through a Bluetooth speaker because my speaker on my phone doesn't work very well. So I just want to make sure.
All right. Yeah, your voice does sound a little bit low. Little bit low.
Maybe if I go here. How about now?
Yeah, I can hear you. We make it work.
All right, cool. What's going on, man? Thank you for having me.
Man, it's an honor to have you on the show. The new album, My Pen, God's Ink, incredible title, incredible artwork, right?
Yeah.
Talk to us about your new album.
The new album was produced by Phaizrok, one of my favorite producers out here in Southern California. Produced 100% by him, mixed by him, mastered by him. It was a project that I put together in about, I don't know, like 17 days. It just, I locked myself with a bunch of beats, and I just knocked it out like pretty quick, man. Pretty quick. And like the title said, My Pen, God's Ink, like I was in the room and I felt that God was in the room with me, and he just got control of that pen and just kind of made it happen for me, man. That's how I felt. That's why I called it that,
That's so dope. It felt like a download.
Yeah, exactly. It felt like I went into the project, in prayer, asking for God to guide me through the project, you know what I'm saying? And it happened just the way I asked, and that's the way it turned out. But as of lately, when I write raps, I write my music as if God is in the room. So like if I'm gonna curse or I'm gonna say something I shouldn't, I just kind of look around like, oh man, maybe I should. I try to write like that with God in the booth. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. There's a lot of people that know you.
Right.
You're a legend in LA hip hop. And you have a long storied past of being a part of different crews of your own discography. And you're now at a point where, you continue to be that MC, that producer with a skill level that is incredible, but you're also more mature.
Right.
And you're writing about topics like in this album.
Yeah.
I want to unpack some of the tracks, but you've got songs on there, about your father, about your workout routine, different songs that kind of bring you into the life of a man. Can you talk to us a bit about, we have Zapata the Ghost songs that are, from the days in the streets.
Right.
And now we got Zapata as a man.
Yeah. So that's that I would say that's my biggest message when it comes to rap is maturity. You know what I'm saying? Because me being sort of spoiled by America, I matured late. You know what I mean? I didn't start maturing till I was like 36, 37, like really matured. I was doing man things, but I was still a boy. You know what I'm saying? Like my dad matured at 17. He had no choice. My dad didn't have the luxury to go tag up a wall or hang out in the corner. He couldn't. He had kids to feed, so he matured at 17, and his maturity level is still at 17, passes my maturity level now. You know what I'm saying? So I think that a lot of us and a lot of my peers and friends have the same kind of lack of maturity that our parents did, and so my message in a lot of the music is maturity, man. Like a lot of us, we stay very boy minded, and I'm still not the man that I want to be, and I'm still not this mature person, but I understand that that's a flaw in me, in us. So I try to push that in the music, man. We need to grow up and mature, and it's still cool to joke around and fool around and stuff, but we this life is serious. It's more serious than I thought it was. You know what I'm saying? So that's why when it comes to these raps, I speak on exercise, I speak on prayer, I speak on gratitude, on appreciating your father, sobriety. Stuff that makes a man, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's really powerful when you do it also because, as a writer and as an MC, you have a presence in your voice that you've used this gift as an artist for many years of your life, but now you're using it in a way where you're like, reaching out to people that are maybe your age, maybe younger, maybe the youth, right? But you're a voice right now talking about, you know, I have this life experience. You
right,
know, there's so many people who didn't make it. I did. Let me kind of talk to you about not the chain, not the, not the drugs, not
right,
the street life. I'm not saying that I haven't done that. You can look at my
right.
catalog, but this is where I'm at
Yeah,
today.
yeah. Yeah, so it just I got tired of rap. So I've been off of the streets for about 20 years. You know what I'm saying? But even 10 years ago, I was rapping about the streets and streets and streets. Then I thought about it. I'm like, man, I haven't even hung out in the street. I hung around street guys still, cause but like in the streets, it's been a long time. So when I kept kind of perpetuating these street, guns, streets, I felt kind of fake. You know what I'm saying? Cause like I'm not living like that no more. Why am I talking about stuff that I did years ago? Like let me start rapping in real time, like what's really happening right now. You know what I'm saying? So and the thing is that the youth, I don't think the youth, there are some younger people listening to me, but I don't think the youth is really listening to me. But I still, like I said, I speak to the grown man that's still lacking maturity, like myself. Not that I'm holier than thou or nothing, but a lot of
Yeah,
us, we maturity, and we still have that kind of that immature mentality of the street stuff, because a lot of the street stuff is lack of maturity. You know what I'm saying? So I try to, I'm trying to, bring just try to bring that to the table and
yeah, yeah,
do it and doing it in a way that isn't a turn off, because it could easily. I think that's what I'm a master at kicking positivity and that type of stuff, but without turning people off like corny, cheesy.
yeah. You
You know,
make it cool.
yeah. I try to. That's my thing. I try to make it digestible. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, yeah.
and I think it's working.
So like, to unpack some of the songs and to talk about the album,
Right.
available currently on your shop, on your store, on your
Yeah.
Shopify. That's the only place we could get the album right now, right?
Yeah. As of right now, I get the physical CDs in a few days too. So yeah, that's
So
the
much
only
to
way.
cover here. I'm so excited about this album. I had the pleasure of really kind of spending time with it.
Right.
Um, there's a release party coming up. Let's talk about your release
Yeah.
event.
So that's going down February 22nd in the city of Commerce. I think it's I forget the name of the bar, but it's going down. I just, I'm gonna be performing with my crew, by myself, Indigenous Cats, Phaizrok, a few homies, DJ Survive. We're gonna be all over there, and just I've never thrown a show, but it's just gonna be a party, man. So nothing too organized. We just gonna wing it and make it happen.
Yeah. Um, you have such an extensive catalog,
Right,
and you got a new album,
yeah,
and you got Brownsville the Collective.
right.
Everything's coming out, all guns blazing.
Yeah, that's the way it's been for the last few years, man. 2 years, because I was dormant for like a few years, you know what I'm saying? And then I woke up one day and I just got to it, man, and I've been on ever since.
That's dope, bro. That's
Yeah,
dope. So, in the City of Commerce album release, I know that that's my wife's birthday,
yeah.
February 22nd.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, 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 yeah. So that date stood out to me immediately. Physical copies are going to be available at the show,
Yes, yes, yep, yep,
and
100%.
are they going to be what physical copies are you going to have?
CDs, I'm gonna have CDs. So
Yeah,
as of right now, the goal is vinyl, but
bro.
it,
I know how much vinyl costs. When
yeah,
you got to make the choices.
yeah, yeah. So vinyl, the thing is that vinyl sells for more, so I got to really make sure that there's a demand before I just go out and get 300 vinyls that are going to cost me, a chunk of change. You know what I'm
Yeah. Or get the homies at Copenhagen Crates to do it. You know what
saying?
I'm saying? And then, work that whole thing
Yeah,
out.
gotcha.
So,
Yep,
yeah,
yep,
bro,
yep.
that's so dope.
Yeah,
I'm excited to get my hands on a physical of this album. It's an incredible album.
thank you.
The production's amazing.
Yeah.
Is this the first time you've worked with Phaizrok?
Uh, uh, I've done a song with him in the past, and that's about it. But he's always been like I make beats, but like one time he told me to send him beats, and I was like, man, I don't want to send you no, like, you know what I mean? Because
Because he rhymes too,
he
right?
rhymes too, but his beats are so crazy that it makes me feel insecure about my beats. You know what I'm saying? So he says, hey, send me some beats. I'm like, man, I want, like, bro, like, it's kind of like I don't even know how to explain it in a metaphor, but to send phase beats, like I gotta look for my five best joints, you know what I'm saying? And even then, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Because he's next level, man. He's next level.
Phaizrok's an incredible producer. You're a dope producer
Thank
too,
you, man.
and your sounds are different.
Yeah,
Um, I know your sound when I hear it, like on Brownsville, and like I'm like, oh, it's about to produce that joint for sure. The voice samples and the, you know what I'm saying? Like I could recognize it. Um, on this album, on your album, um, the Phaizrok production seems to me like it has some kind of how Pete Rock and CL Smooth had interludes at the end of beats. It's a really well produced album. You
yeah,
can't listen to the first 2 minutes and skip.
yeah.
There's a lot going on throughout each song. Can you talk about
So
that?
that was pretty much Phase just doing his thing, man. Like he asked me at first, "Hey, you think I could do this? You know, is it cool if I do this?" I said, "Bro, just add what you'd add," you know what I'm saying? And I didn't question it. I didn't think about it too hard because it's a collaboration, you know what I'm saying? He didn't question my raps or tell me like, hey, I don't know about this song, even though I wouldn't mind a constructive criticism, but he just let me go and I just let him go, and that's it, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, that was his art and his, what he wanted on there. And I mean, on top of that, it was just fire, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't question it. I just, I let him do him and he let me do me, and I think it turned out really good, man.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
an incredible album. When you guys put the album together, um, are there tracks that didn't make the album? How did the whole kind of organizing of the album, the final product, how did all that, come together?
Um, to be honest with you, every song made the cut. I just, like I said, man, I wrote it all and recorded it in like 17 days, and
Oh,
I
crazy.
just stacked the song, stacked the song, send it to him, send it to him, send it to him, and it was quick, man. It was just like I finished it, sent it to him, finished. Then we had like I think 16 joints, and at the end we had 16 joints, and I just gave him the track listed, and he just did his thing, and it was like the quickest I've ever worked in my life. Uh,
Wow.
so it just like I said, got my pen God's ink. It was God just throwing me the alley oop, man. Like it just was so smooth, man. It
That's
was
dope. That's
yeah,
dope.
yeah. So the title is everything about this project. If you listen to the album, you're gonna have a lot of different, you know, topics, and it's just life perspective. I have a little bit about a lot,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
on the album. You heard it, and it's just I go from exercise to drive-bys to sobriety to my dad to my girl to I got a gospel joint at the end.
Yeah.
With my faith, everything. It really is just embodies who I am. If you want to get to know me, listen to the album. You're gonna
Yeah.
know me really well.
Yeah. It's a
Yeah,
very personal album where you talk about your family, challenges with sobriety. There's a song on there called Sober.
yeah,
Maybe we can unpack that a little bit, where you basically talk about, in a sense, having a death of sorts. That was a past life.
yeah,
This is you now. Can you talk about that song?
yeah. So that song was basically so the way that I quit drinking alcohol, and I'll have a beer from time to time now because I have control of it. It doesn't have control of me anymore. So from time to time, when I feel accomplished, I'll have a beer, and that's about it. You know what I'm saying? But the way that I let go of alcohol was because in life I cut off a bunch of toxic friends and enemies. Not enemies, family and friends that were toxic. I cut them off. And then one day I got drunk and acted a fool. And the next day I woke up and I'm like, how come I cut off all my toxic friends and family, but the most toxic mother fudger that I still hang out with every weekend is still right here. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And I said, nah, you getting cut off, homie. And I cut him off. So I treated alcohol like it was a person or like an entity, which I think it is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In the song, I approach the song as if alcohol is an entity, which I think it is. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And I had to look at alcohol like, yo, you're a person, you getting cut off. If I cut off my cousin because he's bad energy, I cut off a friend because he's bad energy, you getting cut off, and
Yeah.
and that's how I got rid of that bad habit, and it's been I think 2 or 3 years now. I don't even remember, but it's the best thing that could ever happen to me. That's the reason that these doors are opening for me in this music, because I've let that go. You know what I'm
That's awesome, man.
saying?
So talking about that, do you feel that you've been, because we talk about in the album, you talk about health also and kind of different other healthy habits.
Yeah.
Do you feel that leaving alcohol, kind of cutting that out of your life, was like a foundation moment that other thing you're able to build other things on top of that?
Nah, because I've always been bettering myself with health and exercise even before I quit the alcohol, because before I couldn't even imagine, like it wasn't even an option to quit
Yeah,
alcohol. So I would exercise, I would meditate, I would pray, I would do everything, but I'm like, it's impossible for me to cut alcohol. So it was just something that I wouldn't even think about.
yeah,
But I was, in other aspects of life, I've always been trying to level up. It was always a dream for me to quit and be absolutely sober, no alcohol, no weed, no nothing, just coffee and uh and man, I don't know how it happened. I want to say God, you know what I mean? Because
yeah,
I couldn't even imagine. I remember one time, I don't want to drag the story too long, but I remember a few times I would be on my way to the studio and I'd be like, I'm not gonna drink, I'm not gonna drink, I'm not gonna drink,
yeah,
I'm not gonna, and all the way over there on the drive, I'm not gonna drink, I'm not gonna drink. I get there, they'd be like, you want a beer? I'll be like, hell yeah. I couldn't even resist, not
yeah,
even like, you know what? I'll take one in a little bit. I couldn't even get that far. I'd be like, yeah, boom. So I couldn't even imagine it. And
yeah,
I don't know what happened, man. Like I just one day, and I had been praying about it for some time. Like I always, it was my lifelong dream to one day sober up completely, and now I'm here, and I love it. Best thing that could have ever happened to me.
that's
Yeah,
dope, bro.
yeah,
Congratulations on
thank
a big accomplishment, and it is tough, man. It's culturally it's around you all the time, and
you.
alcohol is one of those things that we people that have that drink or currently drink or have drank in the past,
Right,
you do it to take the edge off. You do it to kind of be in those situations, whether it's an interview like this, whether it's getting on the mic around other MCs, whether it's just a social event, right? It's like a social lubricant. But
right,
what it is really is that you kind of feel a little bit, you need something to
yeah,
kind of help you be.
right,
So you need courage and strength to just be able to be
yeah.
without it, you know?
Right, right. Well, it sometimes, like I did the show the other day. It was a big show. I was a little nervous. I drank a beer just to. I use it as a tool. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? But the thing is that I don't have a relationship with alcohol no more. Where if I have one, I gotta have five, six, seven. I have a relationship with alcohol where I don't even want it. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Because I got shit to do tomorrow. Like I got stuff I gotta do tomorrow, so I can't drink it. I love my energy more than I love having fake
yeah,
fun. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
I just it's not for me no more. It's not like an addict that if they have one beer they're gonna springboard. I don't
yeah,
have a relationship no more. I have a relationship where like I don't even want to. I'm. It doesn't even call me no more. It's just like
yeah,
yeah. I don't know how that happened, man. But I have this relationship where like it's like saying that song used to control me and now I slave you.
mm,
That's what I say. That it used to control me, but now I slave it because I can have a beer. And I think that's
yeah,
a healthy relationship to where you can have a beer and that's it. That's better than damn, I can't even have one beer because if I have one, I'm gonna have 10.
yeah,
So I it used to control me, now I slave it. I can have one and not even want another one. So
yeah.
because I
That's
got shit to
powerful.
do. I got shit to do tomorrow, so I can't have two
Absolutely.
today. You know what I'm saying? So that's just the way it is,
And
man.
we're talking about the song Sober on the new album, My Pen, God's Ink. There's another track on there I want to unpack that made me think of a song that's one of my favorite songs of all time. The song's called Viral.
Right.
Can you talk to us about what that song's about?
It's just basically about, the people nowadays that are just so thirsty to just go viral, you know what I'm saying? Just even like in the podcast community, a lot of people start podcasts with innocent intentions and then they get a viral moment. And now it's not just about getting good interviews. Now it's about how can I get the next sound bite, sound clip that's gonna go viral, and you get addicted and you get hooked. And I can't blame them because once you start getting money and paid and views, you're just like, oh, how can I do that again? It's like a slot
Yeah,
machine. You know what I'm saying? How can I
yeah,
hit it? So the viral thing, it's really, you know, it's really them tapping into our brain and making us addicted to, views and likes. I don't know if you've seen the Social Dilemma documentary, but
Nah,
it
I need to
speaks on that.
watch that. What's
It,
it about?
it's basically about how the internet is designed by people who work on slot machines, so that you get addicted to, likes.
They know the chemistry to
They
right.
need to tap into your brain so that you're like, oh, and you stay on, and they set up the algorithm so that it only it knows that it knows what you want to see, but it only shows it to you like every 10th swipe, so that you're like swiping, 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 and then it gives you something that it knows you want. You're like, oh, so it doesn't give it to you like often, because then it wants to keep you hooked. So anyway, so the song is
Wow.
about, it's about, just us being thirsty to go viral. We're willing to break the law and talk about it just to go viral. We're willing to just do wild stuff just to go viral, man. And
Yeah.
from the youth to rappers to podcasters to everybody, just that viral hit like crack. You know what I'm saying? And that's what the song's
It's
about.
like a drug. It was the song made me think of the song I was referring to was "Just to Get a Rep" by Gangstar,
Right.
because you tell stories in the song "Viral"
Yeah.
of the stuff that people were doing basically just to get a rep, just to
Yeah.
go viral.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, and then you got the dope production behind it by Phaizrok, and I was
Yeah.
like, this is a modern day,
Yeah.
in the internet era, this is our just to get a rep. People out there committing crimes, snitching on the homies,
Right.
talking smack, and I think that you have like a clip on there where like somebody they do these pranks and somebody gets they
Yeah.
prank the wrong person.
Yeah. At the end. Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly what that is. It's the new era version of that song for sure, man.
Yeah, just to
Get a
get a
rep.
rep.
That's what it is. Well, that's what viral is. You know what I'm saying? Just to get a rep.
That's good.
But now it's just enhanced. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot different. You know what I
That's
mean?
dope. We
Yeah.
touched we touched on this a little bit right at the beginning, but it's so important. I want to make sure that we really unpack it. It's a song that you have on there that's one of my favorite songs. We talk about your dad. It's
Yeah.
called "Old Man."
Yeah.
Talk to us about that song. What inspired you to talk about him? On that record.
Um, you know what? That's one of those songs where the beat just moved the pen. I didn't really have an intention to write about my dad. It's just, I'm in the car, I'm listening, and I'm like, uh, and I just started like, vibing to it. It just came. It's just one of them joints. It pulled it out of me. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't really premeditated. And that's one of the songs that I felt that people wouldn't really want to listen to, but it's one of everybody's favorites, because the thing is that my dad is not the universal dad. I don't speak on a song about my dad like a universal father. I speak on a particular father, which is like a immigrant father. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm really speaking about my dad. So
Yeah,
I think that everybody would relate to it, because not everybody has, the immigrant dad. Some people have Americanized dads, or just, but that was my dad. You know what I'm saying? So it just came out, man, just because the songs about moms. We already have dear mamas and
yeah.
mama tattoos. Nobody ever gay. I got my dad's name tatted on me. It's always the mom. So me being a father that never really gets patted on my back, I just got to make it happen. I'm like, yo, we need that little pat on the back. You know what I mean? And my dad, I showed it to him, and he plays it for everybody that's around. Like my dad, he's like, look, my son made a song for you. He's like, plays.
That's
You know how old people?
awesome.
Yeah, so he shows it to everybody. He's happy.
That's
Yeah,
dope. Yeah, yeah. There's so many lines you had in that song that like, it makes you feel like it makes people feel like they know your dad. Like, he always had a Toyota,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
No Mercedes Benz,
That's,
only Toyotas. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like, there's so many lines where like it's real,
yeah,
man. It's so
yeah,
real.
yeah. My dad does not. If I tell him I got a new car, he say, "What kind?" I'll say, I don't know, freaking, he say, if it's not Toyota, he's like, that's crap.
That's good.
And then before he'd be like, you just get a stick shift, no automatic. This was back in the day. He's like, you need a stick shift. And I'm like, Pop, I don't want to be, he's old school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I know exactly what you mean. I learned on stick also because it was the same thing. You got to learn like this. Mhm.
But my dad's thing was, if your battery ever runs out, you can start it with the stick shift and not with the. I'm like, Dad, I'd rather just be stranded once in a while.
Right. I just call it Uber.
You
but,
know,
but
so
it's changed. It's so different now.
yeah,
That's cool.
so it's all good, you know.
There's a really dope track. It's a good segue also. We're talking about for people uh tuning in the new album by Zapata the Ghost, My Pen God's Ink, available on his store, link in his bio. Release party on February the 22nd, flyer in on his page also. Um there's a track on there called Brownsville Posse,
Yeah.
and it's a good segue to talk about that song, but also the broader Brownsville, the collective.
Right, right, right. Yeah, that was actually a song that I produced uh a while back, and I just didn't like what I did to it. So I handed over the acapellas to Phase, and I said, "Could you do something to this?" He said, "Hold my beer." And he did the most to it, in a good way. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
He gave everybody their own beat. He just it just went. You know what I mean? And it went well. So that turned out really dope. That's one of my favorite joints on there. You know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much how that came about.
yeah.
So it was
Again, for me, that was a little bit reminiscent of Gangstar Foundation. There's a track where J. Rue and Guru and they all had different beats,
uh,
and it reminded me of that. I was like, oh, this is so dope the way they all have their own beats,
right, right,
right? And the
yeah,
beats kind of match the different styles.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
dope.
And it's funny because, like I said, I just gave him the acapella, and he just carved around it and made it dope, man. So. Yeah, I got the homie Cable on there. He's not from Brownsville, but Cable the Don, he's on there, and yeah, that's the only non-member from Brownsville. Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah,
produced by Phaizrok.
yep,
Um, Brownsville, the collective, just released a song and video. LA Ain't Safe. Dope, dope
yeah,
song. Talk to us about that and your role and bringing this collective together and I mean all this talent in this one group.
right. As far as the song, we did a song maybe like a year ago, and then Lil Body got the artwork for it, and we're all on bikes. I was like, damn, that's pretty cool, And I just so happen to know a bike crew that meets up in Chinatown that has a bunch of vintage GTs and dynos and
That's dope.
yeah. So I was like, you know what? It always works like that, man. God just throws you the alley oop. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? I'm like, oh wow, I know these guys with bikes, and it was right down the street from my studio where they meet up, and the homie was like, yo, I'll shoot you a video for free. I was like, cool, and it just all came together. We went down there and we shot the video, and it turned out great, man. As far as Brownsville the collective, it was just me being a curator, sort of, you know, kind of like Andy Warhol. They said that he never actually painted or wasn't really an artist. He was a curator. He would grab
yeah,
people's ideas and art and put them together and buy their stuff and claim it as his in a sense. And that's still an art, you know what I'm saying? Because it's having
yeah,
a vision. You know what I mean? Even though he didn't paint it or do it himself, but the vision
yeah.
is artistic. So it's just me being, a visionary and seeing, MCs that I thought that would mesh well together. And I think I was right. You know what I'm saying?
You're definitely
So
right. That's
yeah,
what Steve Jobs' talent was.
right,
He
exactly.
can't
Yep.
program.
Yeah, yeah,
Bro couldn't
yeah,
program. Look at what he created.
yeah, exactly. So I was on my Steve Jobs, you know what I'm saying? So it turned out like that, and it just worked out well because I'm big on fashion too, and I was like, I want a crew, but man, these motherfuckers got to know how to dress because
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
I'm big on that, because when it comes to the visuals, it really it makes you stick out from the rest. So, being that we have the king of fashion MOC, what I'm saying? That fool got sauce like nobody else. You know what I mean? So, and then we all got our own sauce, but it's just the crew has a lot of seasoning salt, I would say.
yeah, yeah. No, the crew looks really good together. You're right, dressed in all sorts of dope hip hop gear, vintage,
Right.
low, starter, Nautica. I mean, everybody shows out. You have an impressive collection yourself. Can you share with us a little bit about your own vintage
Um,
collection?
yeah, I just I started collecting vintage gear back in 1991 when Check Your Head from the Beastie Boys was out. They used to dress vintage, and I used to try to dress like them. And I would hit thrift shops. So since '91, I've been hitting thrift shops for toys, records, clothes, and I've lost collections. Gained them back and lost and gave some away. So I got a cool little collection right now. But maybe like a year ago, I watched this video on minimalism and I got hyped, what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, I want to be a minimalist. And I gave all my stuff to my son. And then like 6 months, I tried to get it back and he wouldn't give it back to me. So I had to start all those.
I could relate though. I kind of went through a phase like that also, where like I had stuff like mostly music, like
Yeah,
my music. Then I went digital, and then I want everything back. So now I'm like buying
yeah,
cassettes and CDs. I never gave the vinyl away, but the CDs and
right.
cassettes, I kind of went through that phase where I got rid of it, and now I'm like, why did I do that? So now I'm like hunting for stuff.
I did that with all my hardware, like my MPC 2000 XL, all my hardware. I got rid of it. I got Reason. I'm like, yo, I don't need it no more. And then I ended up buying it all back.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Yep,
good. I want to make sure you had such a dope career, and
right,
we're talking about the new album and Brownsville Collective, but I want to make sure that we cover a little bit more of your discography and your entire career. You have a
right,
really dope album
right.
called Oye,
Yeah.
right? It's got classics like 91 Forever. Can you talk to us about that album?
That album is like I said, I was I kind of had taken a break for a few years, and I wasn't really doing much. I stopped. I had to retrain myself how to start and finish a project because
Yeah,
I had forgotten to do that. And I would always say, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it, and I couldn't get myself to start and finish the album. And I had to force myself to you know, uh, and that album when I came back. That was the first joint that I started and I finished it, and that was me just coming back from my hiatus or my just kind of like I had a severe writer's block for a few years, and that's when my pen woke up, and that's kind of what kick-started, what I'm saying, me coming back to doing art and music and stuff like that. But yeah, that's another one of those that's a very introspective album. You get to know me if you hear it.
yeah, yeah. It's a dope album. 91 Forever is such an incredible track.
Yeah, yeah. That's the one that everybody is just. That's the one. That's my bread and butter, man. You know what I'm saying? That's the one that's my one hit wonder.
Yeah, no, it's a really dope song. Good music is timeless.
Yeah, yeah,
Good music is timeless.
100%.
Yeah, that's dope. And as we start to wrap, I want to make sure that we get to talk about something that you were a big part of, um, uh, the campaign,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Legendary crew in Los Angeles,
right.
that you were a part of putting that together. Can you talk to us about that crew?
That crew was basically Brownsville 10 years ago. That's another vision that I had, and I put a bunch of MCs. See, I'm a crew type of guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
When it comes to since I was a kid, I was from a crew, a set, and always been that's Southern California culture. What I'm saying,
yeah,
being from a crew or whatever. So it was just Brownsville in 2010. What I'm saying? That's the thing. It was completely not completely. It was a different vibe, but it was the same idea. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And I promised myself after the campaign I wouldn't do the crew thing again because it's pretty hard to do.
yeah.
But I took on the challenge, man, and I'm not regretting nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that I did this Brownsville thing because it runs a little smoother than the campaign.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
It's always challenging to bring talented people together for
Right.
a long period of
Yeah.
time. You could do a song. You could do
Yeah.
a song. You could do a
Yeah.
show
Yeah.
to roll together.
Yeah.
It's
You know, Wu Tang broke up, Outkast broke up, Tribe Called Quest, like nobody stayed together. You know what I'm saying? So
absolutely.
chances are very slim. But like I told the boys from Brownsville, I said, look, let's not be so stiff and married to this. If it happens, it happens. And if anybody wants to leave, the door's right there, no hard feelings. Let's just let's, when you I think when you're so stiff into it, it makes it and you're so serious about it, it makes it more dramatic, harder. But when you're just kind of loose about it, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Does that make sense? But
absolutely,
still,
absolutely.
but still get stuff done though. But still get
Yeah,
stuff
like what you guys have right now, the song or the album. This is now. This is what we're doing. This is beautiful.
done.
Nothing's forever.
Yeah,
You've got one of the songs. I'm trying to remember the name of it, but you talk about life is just a trip. It's like, oh,
yeah,
it's death. The song
yeah,
"Death."
yeah.
That song's so incredible.
Right. Thank
You're
you,
like
man.
life is like a trip. Nah, for real. It's like a trip.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
here. We're going to a destination,
yeah,
and you say another line, and I don't remember it exactly, but basically you say something like, every time I say goodbye, this might actually be goodbye.
right, right.
We don't know, and you reach a point in time in your life where you've had enough homies that you don't see them again.
Yeah.
That that that's facts.
Not just that, but I don't know if it's just me, but I've been losing a lot of people. Not necessarily really close to me, but a lot of people that I just like that I've known throughout, like just this month, like 5 people. I'm like, damn, like is that what happens when I get to this age, or is this? But people are just going, man.
Yeah,
People
no.
say, my boy B Naz just passed away. The homie Laylo from Brownsville. Now he wasn't a rapper, but he was part of our crew. Just man, so you just never know. That song was inspired by the stoic, the stoicism.
Yeah.
So stoicism has a
Memento
saying called,
mori.
yeah, memento mori. Just means like, yo, you just know tomorrow ain't promised, so move your feet today.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do it today, because tomorrow's not promised. So
Yeah.
you know you gotta mer- uh, meditate on death, but in a healthy way. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Yep.
Yeah. Don't take it for granted. Like, we're not here forever.
Right. Well, I think that's the purpose of death, is for you to get stuff done. Because if we knew we were here forever, we'd just be chilling.
Yeah.
We got forever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the fact that we're gonna die, it makes it. Ooh, I want to accomplish this. I want to accomplish that. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta remember that death is just around the corner, man.
Yeah.
But I hope the corner is, a few miles away.
We hope it's far.
you know. But,
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah.
That's dope.
But yeah, that's a
Zapata the
great
Ghost.
song, man. That's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, I love that song, my bro. The album, My Pen God's Ink, available at Zapata's Shopify, link in his profile. Album release party in City of Commerce on February 22nd. Check out the flyer on his page. My brother, it's been an honor to have you on.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me, and I appreciate you and your platform, and I appreciate your time and your interest in my art, in my music, and shouts out to Brownsville, shouts out to my boy DJ Survive, shouts out to Cable to Don, Slum Cat, shouts out to man, I hate giving shouts out because hey, why don't you shout me out? You know what I'm saying? But shouts out to all my people around me. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. It's an honor, and I look forward to building.
Awesome, man. I appreciate you for having me,
Appreciate
bro.
you, brother.
Peace.
Salute. Peace.
Yep.